Now I am going to continue this one thing, my dear. Here in the things that we have to be keep in mind, that what the nucleic acid, my dear, you know that the nucleic acid is such a acid which is basically mainly contains what nucleotides, and that very nucleotides, see, if I am saying here that the nucleotides, my dear, then what I am going to say here, see, nucleotides, what I am saying here, nucleotides. In this very nucleotides, it means that they containing what, nitrogenous base, number one. Second thing is what, pentose sugar, and third one is what, my dear, phosphate group. Which one group? Phosphate group. So these three things is mainly contained in where, in a nucleotides, my dear. Getting my point? So whenever you go through a chapter that is genetics, there you also know about this one thing, that is nucleotides and nucleosides, my dear. So basically in nucleic acid containing what, nucleotides, then after second thing, that is what, DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, and third one is what, my dear, RNA, that is ribonucleic acid, my dear, ribonucleic acid. So see here I am going to say that the metabolisms, my dear. So metabolisms of two types, one is what, catabolisms and anabolisms. Yes, you are getting my point. So sum of all biochemical reaction, whatever the biochemical reaction occurs within the body, that very biochemical reaction is termed as what, metabolisms. Definitely yes. So now see, if I am saying here the term metabolisms, now the time to know here that metabolisms of two, one is primary, second one is secondary. So when I am saying primary, when I am saying the word secondary, because whenever the metabolisms group together, then it form metabolites, and that very metabolites, my dear, is two types, one is primary, second one is what, secondary, my dear. So when the primary and when the secondary, give some example. Here the example of, my dear, you know, amino acid, sugar, nucleic acid, lipids, these all are what, metabolites. These all are what, metabolites, my dear. And what are the secondary metabolites? Secondary metabolite, that is a pigment which is contained in a plants, my dear, alkaloids, toxin, drugs, these all are what? These all are what, my dear? Tell me. These all are metabolite. But which one type of metabolite, my dear? Secondary metabolite. So this one is very important to understand, my dear, that what the primary and secondary. Getting my point? Now the thing is here to be know that enzymes and their classification. Clear? So see, enzyme I was told, enzyme, that is what, biocatalyst, which always increase the rate of what, biochemical reaction, my dear. So see here the enzyme, see here the enzymes, the classification of this very enzyme is what, in the form of what, oxyreductase, transferase, hydrolase, lyase, isomerase and ligase. So these all are the enzymes. So where the ASCs be there, they all are what, enzymes, my dear. They all enzymes perform different functions according to the need of our living organisms. So see, if the living tissue is grinded with the help of mortar and pasted in a trichloroacetic acid to obtain what, slurry, that it is slurry contain a stain, then over stain over there, it whenever make a color over there, it then it form a what, pool, that is either filtrate or retentate. Filtrate means what, the things that is what filter out after filtration, and retentate means what, the things which is left behind after filtration. Getting my point? Suppose if I am giving one example here there, that when you make a tea, whatever the tea leaves, they remain on stain. Yes or no? Only the tea goes in a cup, poured in a cup. So whatever they left behind, then it is known as what, retentate. And what is the things that filter, that is called filtrate, my dear. Is the thing is clear? So this one is here, that the things what is given of analysis of the chemical composition, my dear. Now the thing is very important to know here that in the enzymes, my dear, if the factors affecting, what the factors affecting, my dear? So the factor affecting in a different way. it is totally depend upon the how much the body required, my dear. See here, this one thing I am telling you. See from here, this one is the what of fats and oil lipids, my dear. Here the structure of sugar, carbohydrate. Here the structure of what? Check me. Here the structure of sugar, carbohydrate, amino acids, fatty acid, palmitic acid, glycerol. Here the 3 hydroxyl. Here the triglyceride R1, R2 and R3. And what? Fatty acid. These all are the arrangement of what? Fatty acid, lecithin, phospholipid, fats and oils. This one is the cholesterol. So these all are the what? Structure of diagrammatic representation of molecular weight organic compounds in a living tissue, my dear. So whatever the living tissue, that all living tissue containing, there are some specific enzymes. That very enzyme is responsible for performing various types of metabolic activities, my dear. Let's see with the help of some more things here. See here, the metabolites. Just I told about the metabolite. So metabolite is what? 2 types. One is primary and secondary metabolites. What I'm saying? One is what? Primary metabolites, and second one is what? Secondary metabolites. So the most existing aspect of chemistry deals with isolating thousands of compounds. You know what I'm saying here? Here I am saying that whatever the existing aspect of chemistry, see, मैं यहाँ पे कर रहा हूँ कि जितने भी एग्जिस्टिंग एस्पेक्ट है केमिस्ट्री के, वे सारे डील्स कर रहे होते हैं किस चीज़ को लेकर? आइसोलेटिंग थाउजेंड्स ऑफ कंपाउंड्स. कैसे? बट दैट वी थाउजेंड्स ऑफ कंपाउंड्स आइदर इन द फॉर्म ऑफ स्मॉल और आइदर इन द फॉर्म ऑफ बिग फ्रॉम द लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स. गेटिंग माई पॉइंट और नॉट? Yes. So determining their structure, if possible, synthesizing them. So see what the list, make a list of biomolecules, my dear. So in this very list of biomolecules, what we say, thousands of organic compounds, my dear, thousands of organic compounds. That's very thousand of organic compounds, including what? Amino acids, sugar. For reason, give here the section here that pigments, what the pigment is here. This one is very important to learn, my dear. What I am saying? This one is very, very important. So you all learn this thing. Getting my point or not? See, alkaloids, morphine, codeine, terpenoids, monoterpenes, diterpenes, essential oils में what? Lemongrass oil. Toxin contains what? Abrine, ricin. Lectins containing what? Concaveline A. Drugs containing what? Vinblastine, curcumin. What the polymeric substances, dear? Rubbers, gum, cellulose. So these all are what, my dear? Secondary metabolites. Getting my point or not? Secondary metabolites. So whatever the secondary metabolites, dear, we all have colored pigments, scent, gums. These all are physiological process. Whenever we do any physiological process in our daily activities, they also having containing some role of function of the secondary metabolite, my dear. Getting? Yes. Now see what the bio-macromolecule. Bio means what? Life. Macro means what? More, large amount. So here there are one features common to all those compounds found in the acid, my dear. That is what? Acid soluble pool. It means that they have a molecular weight in ranging from how much? 18 to around 800 Dalton, my dear. So if I am saying here that if the one feature that is in a compound found to be acid soluble pool, यदि मैं कहूँ कि एसिड सोलबल पूल के लिए कितना हमारा कॉमन फीचर्स होना चाहिए, तो क्या आप रेंज बताओगे? You can say there the molecular weights ranging from 18 to around 800 डाल्टन. यदि हमारा 18 से 800 डाल्टन के बराबर है, तब वो हमारा मॉलिक्यूल्स कैसा है? एसिड सोलबल पूल है. गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? द एसिड इनसोलुबल फ्रैक्शन हम कब बोलेंगे बेटा? जब उसमें हमारा क्या होगा? 4 टाइप्स ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड्स होंगे हमारे. क्या है 4 types of organic compound? That is proteins, nucleic acid, polysaccharides and lipids, my dear. See, so these classes of the compound with the exception of lipids have molecular weight in the range 10,000 Dalton and above. यदि मैं बोलूँ कि यदि insoluble fractions में यदि हमारे पास कोई बायो मैक्रो मॉलिक्यूल्स है, इसका मतलब यह हुआ कि कहीं ना कहीं 10,000 डाल्टन से क्या है मॉलिकुलर वेट ज़्यादा है. यस, कंपाउंड विद एक्सेप्शन ऑफ लिपिड, लिपिड को छोड़कर बेटा. इसलिए मैं बोल सकता हूं कि बायोमोलिक्यूल दैट इज अ केमिकल कंपाउंड्स. बायोमोलिक्यूल्स है क्या? नथिंग, इट इज ओनली अ केमिकल कंपाउंड. दैट वेरी केमिकल कंपाउंड्स that is found in the living organisms and are of two types. One is bio macromolecules, second is bio micromolecules. So see here what I am going to tell you. Here I am going to tell you about the molecular weight less than 1000 Dalton are usually referred to as micromolecules or simply biomolecules. यदि 1000 डाल्टन से कम है मॉलिक्यूलर वेट तो वो क्या कहलाता है? एसिड सोलुबल पूल कहलाता है बेटा. क्या कहलाता है? एसिड सोलुबल पूल. रेफर टू माइक्रोमोलिक्यूल्स, वो माइक्रोमोलिक्यूल्स तो हैं ही, और सिंपली बायोमोलिक्यूल्स विच आर फाउंड इन द एसिड, सॉरी नॉट एसिड सोलुबल पूल, एसिड इनसोलुबल पूल, लेस देन है ना, इसलिए आर कॉल्ड व्हाट? आर कॉल्ड बायो मैक्रोमोलिक्यूल्स, माय डियर. करेक्ट? दिस इज द लाइन. सो द मॉलिक्यूल्स इन द इनसोलुबल फ्रैक्शन विथ एन एक्सेप्शन. अब यहाँ पर क्या आ जाता है केसेस? एक्सेप्शन का केस आता है लिपिड्स का, ऑफ पॉलीमेरिक सब्सटेंसेस. देन व्हाई डू लिपिड्स हुज मॉलिक्यूलर वेट इज नॉट एक्सीड 800 डाल्टन? 800 डाल्टन से ज़्यादा ना हो तो क्या होगा? सो कम अंडर द एसिड इनसोलुबल फ्रैक्शन. व्हाट हियर वी नो माय डियर, दैट इज द मैक्रोमोलिकुलर फ्रैक्शन. व्हाट द फ्रैक्शन इज हियर? Macromolecular fraction. And this macromolecular fraction, lipids are indeed a small molecular weight. So see, the compounds are present not only as such but also arranged in a structure like cell membrane and other membrane also. So totally depend upon the membrane bonded organelles, because this one is the membrane bonded organelles which is responsible for giving their some specific structure and their specific function, my dear. Not only the outer cell membrane I am talking here, I am talking here about the organelles also, either the mitochondria, chloroplast in plant cell, nucleus. Getting my point? So these all are the membrane bonded organelles which perform different function, my dear. Getting my point? So now see. So see here the point. The cell membrane and other membrane are broken into pieces and form vesicles which are not water soluble. Therefore, these membrane fragments in the form of vesicles get separated along with the acid insoluble pool. What the thing is here? Acid insoluble pool. When I am saying the acid insoluble pool, then whenever it doesn't go soluble, my dear, and hence in the macromolecular fraction, my dear. So lipids are not strictly macromolecules. Lipids are never what you say the macromolecules, my dear. So the acid soluble pool represents roughly the cytoplasmic composition. What I'm saying here? Here I'm saying that the acid soluble pool, nothing, just it is only represents the what? Cytoplasmic composition. You know the meaning of cytoplasmic composition? Cytoplasmic, that is a jelly fluid, you all know. So whatever the content in a cytoplasm is known as cytoplasmic composition. Getting my point? तो मैं यहाँ पे क्या बोल रहा हूँ, ध्यान दोगे. द मैक्रोमोलिक्यूल्स फ्रॉम द साइटोप्लाज्म एंड ऑर्गेनेल्स बिकम द एसिड इनसॉल्युबल फ्रैक्शन. अब यहाँ पे देखेंगे एवरेज कंपोजिशन क्या है सेल का, है ना. वाटर कितना है? 70 to 90%. हाँ सर, ये बात पता है. प्रोटीन कितना है? 10 to 15%. कार्बोहाइड्रेट 3%. लिपिड 2%. न्यूक्लिक एसिड 5 to 5.7%. सी है. आयंस कितने परसेंट है? 1%. सो विच वन थिंग इज वेरी वेरी हियर more amount here? Water there. Why I'm saying? Because whatever the biomolecules, whatever the enzymes, whatever the hormones, they all performed in the presence of water, my dear. So that's why I'm saying to you here. Getting my point? Now the point is to be noted here, that what the thing is to be here, the protein. See about the protein, and you all know that proteins are what? Polypeptides. So they are the what? Linear chain of amino acids. So whenever we draw a linear chain of amino acids which is linked by which type of bond, which are linked by peptide bond, my dear. What I am saying? Peptide bond. So the two thing is to be here common, that whenever I am saying about the protein, it means what? They are polypeptide, number one. What the chain? Linear chain. Which one? Amino acids, which is linked by what? Peptides. Clear? So each protein is a what? Polymer of amino acid. As there are 20 types of amino acid here. See, if I am saying here that this one is the protein, suppose this one is the protein, and if I am saying that this one is the protein, so here a polymer, you know the meaning of polymer? Poly means what? Many, mers means what? मिलना. तो बहुत सारे मोनोमर मिल जाएंगे तो क्या बनेंगे? पॉलीमर बनेंगे डियर. क्या बनेंगे? पॉलीमर. एंड दैट वेरी पॉलीमर ऑफ एमिनो एसिड्स is how many types of amino acid, my dear? You know, 20 types of amino acid. So let's see what are the 20 types of amino acid. That is alanine, cytosine, proline, tryptoplas, lysine, etc. There are different types of protein, my dear. Getting my point? So these all are the protein either in the form of heteropolymer or not a what? Homopolymer. Heteropolymer, if I am saying here that whenever the structure of the protein is what? Totally different. When I am saying the homopolymer, here we say homopolymer whenever the many monomers are what? Similar in nature. So here the table given some protein and their function. So collagen fiber, you might be hear the name of collagen fiber. Yes, Ramchandran beta, that is Indian philosopher, that is who developed the what? Collagen fiber. Yes, intracellular ground substances, whatever the ground substances mainly contained inside the cell. Trypsin, that is an enzyme. Insulin, that is hormone. Antibody, fight infection agent. Receptors, sensory reception, that is response for smell, taste, hormone, etc. my dear. What the glut enables disease transport into the cells. So whatever the disease whenever transported through cells, then it is known as what? It is known as what, my dear? GLUT4. What I am saying? GLUT4. Hope so this point is clear. This point is clear? Yes. Now see, if anybody can ask you about the collagen. Collagen is nothing. Collagen is the only what? Most abundant protein in animal world. So if anybody can ask you about the collagen fiber, it means that they have need of collagen fibers. And ribulose biphosphate, carboxylase oxygenase, rubisco we say, is the most abundant protein in the whole biosphere, my dear. So whatever the biosphere, whatever we talking about here, the life, it means that what? There is something that is very abundant in nature. That is what? Collagen fiber. And this collagen fibers are abundant amount of protein, my dear, in animal. So that's why here ribulose biphosphate carboxylase oxygenase, rubisco, my dear, this short form. Getting my point? So now see, after that, poly means what? Many. What I am saying? Poly means what? Many. If many monomers combine together, they need form what? Polymers. Getting my point? So if I am saying here the polymers, it means that I am saying here that about the acid insoluble palette. And whenever I am saying about the acid insoluble palette, it means that there are polysaccharides, carbohydrate as another classes of macromolecules. Getting? So this one is the polysaccharides. मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ ध्यान से सुनोगे. Polysaccharides क्या है? एक लॉन्ग चेन है किसका? शुगर का. किसका है? शुगर का. ये आपस में कैसे हैं? They are thread like structure, धागे के जैसा है. Which are continually different monosaccharides building block. बहुत सारे monosaccharides मिल गए और क्या बन गए? पोलोसैकेराइड्स बन गए, है ना. अब एग्जाम्पल के लिए आप ले लो. जैसे मैं एग्जाम्पल बोलता हूँ सेलुलोज. सेलुलोज क्या है? फाइबर है ना. यस, द सेलुलोज इज अ पॉलीमेरिक पॉलीसैकेराइड. पॉलीमेरिक पॉलीसैकेराइड है, ध्यान देना है. कंस्टिट्यूटिंग ऑफ व्हाट? वन और टू मोर टाइप ऑफ व्हाट? मोनोसैकेराइड. उसमें एक या एक से ज्यादा मोनोसैकेराइड्स मिलकर क्या बने? पॉलीसैकेराइड्स बने. एग्जाम्पल आप ले सकते हो बेटा, ग्लूकोज ले सकते हो, सेलुलोज ले सकते हो. ये सब क्या थे? होमोपॉलीमर थे. स्टार्च जो फूड स्टोर करके रखता है स्टार्च के फॉर्म में, वो है क्या? These all are the storehouse of energy in plant tissue, my dear. So in not only the plant tissue, here the animals also, animal have another variant collagen fiber, Insulin, yes, insulin is a what? Hormone. That is naturally hormone also, that man-made inbuilt hormone also. So insulin is also a polymer of what? Fructose. See here, insulin is a polymer fructose. In a polysaccharide chain, whenever I am saying about the chain, then here says say glycogen. Right end called what? Reducing end, and left end is called what? Non-reducing end. So this one is the chain. It has a branches shown in the form of carbon. So each and every carbon are what? Interlinked with each other, my dear. Getting my point? Getting my point or not? See here the diagram given. See a diagrammatic representation of portion of what? Glycogen. This one is the diagrammatic representation. So this one is the diagrammatic representation. So the what? Helical portion. What here? So see what I'm saying here? Helical portion. The starch hold I2 molecules in the helical portion, my dear. So you already know that the DNA also having what? A helical like a structure. So in this very helical like a structures, they having containing what? Hydroxyl group, and another one is what? Yes, that is what? Methanol, my dear. Getting? Okay, so in the same way, the plant cells are also made up of what? Cellulose, paper made up of plant pulp, and cotton fiber cellulosic. They are more complex polysaccharides in nature, my dear. So though so many polysaccharides in nature, that all very polysaccharides are what? Very complex. So here the building block amino acids are chemically modified. Chemically what? Modified. It means what? Changing, such as glucosamine, N-acetyl, galactosamine, exoskeleton arthropod, even the arthropod, even the animals also. For example, have a complex polysaccharide called chitin. Whatever the animal cells having the what? Complex polysaccharide, that very complex polysaccharides is what, my dear? Chitin. So these are the complex polysaccharides, which are mostly which type of polymer? Yes, very good, homopolymer, dear. So see, the thing is here to be noted that what the biomolecules, what the definition of biomolecules, what the types of biomolecules, what is amino acid, what is nucleic acid, what is DNA, what is RNA, these all are very simple. What is metabolisms, how many types of metabolisms, how many metabolites, what the different metabolites, that is very important to know, my dear. Getting my point? So in this way, when you go through in the details of NCERT, then you know these all things, my dear. Getting my point? Okay, so in detailed video I will show you the what? Next mind map, my dear. So thank you for watching me. Thank you. Have a nice day. Take care. अच्छे से पढ़िए, मन लगा कर पढ़िए, एक एक चीज़ को थोड़ा डिटेल्स में जाइए, हम लेकर जाएंगे। जब हम डिटेल क्लासेस के अंदर आएंगे तो एक एक चीज़ को हम क्या करेंगे? डिटेल्स में बात करेंगे, my dear। ठीक है, तब तक के लिए जय हिंद। थैंक यू।